Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ken Vitale. I am a physician and university professor. I teach anatomy and physiology and like to make videos like this with some extra learning tips and tricks and some mnemonics along the way. So this edition is the nervous system. So let's get started. And the nervous system has plenty of mnemonics. Some of them are quite, well, interesting in terms of cranial nerves. How are we going to remember all 12 of these? Well, there are a ton of mnemonics out there. Some of them are kind of funny. I like this one. Only one of the two athletes felt very good, victorious, and healthy for each starting letter of the 12 cranial nerves. That's pretty good. There are other ones that are starting to get a little weird. To touch and feel either very green vegetables or very good velvet. Ah, heaven. I like that. Velvet is good. This is the PG version. There are certainly R-rated versions of these, and medical students quickly find them, but we're going to keep it clean on this channel. And this one's my favorite. Oh, once one takes the anatomy final, very good vacations start happening. That one's a little bit of a twist because it's an S there for spinal accessory, as it is sometimes mentioned. That one I like a lot. Of course, there are really oddball ones out there. This is out there, and someone came up with this, and then I asked ChatGPT to come up with a visual to hopefully help you remember. That's what it came up with. They get, yeah, really weird, and I don't know what's going on there. ChatGPT tried the best they could, but sometimes AI get things a little funky here. But only owls observe tiny trees and ferociously vex giant angry humans. I don't know if I could remember that. So it's kind of funny. Old Oscar's ostrich tasted tomatoes and fell very grumpily, vexing all humans, I guess. But hopefully you'll find one that works for you. Anyway, on to the next step here. Once you've learned 1 through 12 in order, you can move on to learning the function, which we're going to skip. It's another slide coming up. I'd like to review this, where they come from. 2, 2, 4, 4. That's the easiest way to remember this. We don't have a good mnemonic for this one, but 2 from cerebrum, 2 from midbrain, 4 from pons, and 4 from medulla. How does that play out? Right here. So cranial nerve 1 and 2 from the cerebrum, 3 and 4 from the midbrain, 5, 6, 7, and 8 from the pons, and then 9, 10, 11, and 12 right there from the medulla, and you've got that down. Now let's jump back to the different functions. So cranial nerves can have sensory, they can also have a special sensory, sight, smell, vision, hearing. They can have motor or they can have both. How do you remember that? Well, some say marry money, but my brother says big brains matter most. That's actually not bad. I like that a lot. Well, we have sensory, motor, or both, and this does follow pretty straightforward here. So perhaps you can use that one for a way to remember the function. Okay, on to the lumbar plexus. The brachial plexus gets a lot of attention, and everyone tries to memorize it and learn how to draw it out. And we have a drawing that I've put on the channel as ways to draw it out slowly in full detail, about a 5-minute video, and then a quick one, 30 seconds, to just draw the whole thing straightforward. Lumbar plexus, we can do that too. It's a lot harder, and it honestly doesn't get as much attention, but there are ways to memorize this. It looks a little funky. Some people are not so familiar with it, but we have ways to draw it out. However, it's not just the lumbar plexus, it's the lumbosacral plexus, and once you combine the lumbar plexus and this lumbosacral trunk that comes in and then merges with the sacral plexus, it can get pretty darn complicated. So, this is a snapshot of a video I did. I'll put it in the description, how to fairly quickly draw the lumbar plexus with some mnemonics in there. What are said mnemonics? Well, again, they are going to get weird. We'll leave it at that. But how do we remember these different branches of the lumbar plexus? Well, interested in getting lunch on Fridays? That's pretty good. Straightforward sentence, easy to remember. Of course, things can go a little sideways here, still keeping it clean, but lucky, talking about, right, winning the lottery. That's what we're talking about here, or your paycheck on Fridays. That's how I would like you to remember it. The I twice is, well, I and I, right? Iliogastric, ilioinguinal. This one is certainly a favorite of mine because on Fridays I'm tired and my legs are tired. And where's the lumbar plexus going? Yeah, down to your legs, obturator, femoral nerve. So that one is a pretty easy one. And again, when you ask AI, ChatGPT, to give us what they feel is I invariably get lazy on Friday. Santa Claus, I guess, and it's got some donuts and is it a pie tucked in there? I don't know. I like it. It's good. All right. That's a funny one that the sentence works, but I don't really like that one as much as the lazy one. Okay, sacral plexus. This one, as you can see here, is very complicated and a lot of branches, and it can get pretty hard to learn to draw them, and especially when you have to combine everything, it's way more than the brachial plexus. Don't worry, got you covered there. This is a nice drawn out version of everything. Lumbar plexus over here, sacral plexus over here, and a little chart or a map to help you figure out which branches, which nerve roots, and also color coded. And I'll leave that in the description as well. Here is a, well, treasure map, so to speak. I had some fun drawing the plexus. That's how I learned it. There are some pirate themes to some of these mnemonics, and it can, well, lead you to a treasure map of sorts to learn all the different branches. So please check that out. Here is an example that is partially filled, but not entirely filled. That is out there. But if you're a numbers person or you like graphs and arrays, then maybe this helps. Okay, so how are we going to remember our treasure map of the sacral plexus and all of these letters going across? Sciatic, superior gluteal nerve, inferior gluteal nerve, the posterior femoral cutaneous, and the pudendal. Well, think of your pirates. When your pirates are young and healthy, they're going to get out there and party. Some sailors in Portugal party. And, well, there you go, ChatGPT's version of that. And then once you continue on and add all the other branches, which this little diagram does not include, quadratus femoris, obturator piriformis, and others, including the splanchnics, which we get to in our class later on in the course. Well, as your pirates get a little older, your quiet old pirates prefer stealing little coins. That's how I learned it. I get it. It works for me. Hopefully you have something that works for you. ChatGPT has a very interesting interpretation of that. I love the size, what is going on here. But hey, if it works, it works. Anyway, what are your mnemonics? There are a ton of them out there for cranial nerves. And if you got a good one for lumbar and sacral plexus, I would love to know. Truly, I would. And then I can teach to my students. Send me in the comments and let me know. All right, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.